Felix here, and welcome to this pre-market live stream sponsored by Gag Juice. That's a joke, by the way. We don't take any sponsorship. Someone asked me the other day, Felix, that stock you were talking about, were you paid by them? Like, no, never, ever, ever will I take money from anybody on this channel, because that's not what we do here. We are here to educate, not to like pump some random ass stock. Winston is with me on that one, aren't you, Winston? He's sleeping sweetly right behind me. Can you see him there? Can you see him? Not really, huh? Weird. I'm just about behind me. Anyway, what's going on today? Not a lot. If you've been asleep, you've just woken up, just go back to sleep. It's probably the best thing you could possibly be doing. Elon and Trump are wrestling like in a sandbox, and I want to explain to you how that's going to affect you and your portfolio. Also, why the jobs data that just came out, it is far worse than you think, and I'll show you that. And then we're going to review your favorite tech stocks, including SoFi, Palantir, Tesla, HIMS, whatever you like. We'll do a big, beautiful Q&A and leave you as the best informed investors out there. And if you don't want to just be the best informed investor, but actually a great investor, and we've had an amazing month. I mean, May was just wonderful. And how do we do that? Well, by fretting and FOMO buying and generally worrying whether things are going to go up or down. No, never, ever, ever. We simply look for stocks that are about to explode, and that's when we buy them. And then once they explode, we take profits on the way up, somewhere on the way up. And it's so simple. It is so beautiful. It is literally the easiest way I have ever made money in my life. And if you want to learn that, come and join me tomorrow, because I'm running a free live webinar for you guys where you can actually learn that. And the funny thing is, like 30, 40, 50,000 people are going to watch this video. Less than 1% of them are actually going to show up for that. And I was thinking about that today. I was going for a walk with Winston. I was thinking, Winston, why do you think that is? And I think the wisdom is that the reality is just that the 99% are scared of change. They are afraid of what will actually happen if they have more money and they can quit their job, and what are they going to do with their time? That's kind of what I think it is. Maybe you think I'm wrong on that? Let me know in the chat down below why you think that is. What is it that's holding people back from actually letting their money do the heavy lifting? Right? My money does my heavy lifting. My money works for me. I can go on holiday. I can sit on the beach. I can do whatever I want, and I'll always come back with more money. And it's a beautiful feeling. And my input to that is it's a couple of hours a week, mostly on a Sunday. I don't really do anything during the week. So why do you think that is? Fear is holding the back, says George. Scott says people are terrified of change. Well, what got you to jump over that hurdle, Scott? Because, be honest, like everybody has that, right? Everybody seems to be afraid of change. I'd love to know that, because we could help more people if more people actually learned. And that's really what the whole point here is of our little community. So, okay, some of you have an event, you have an excuse, you are busy, you're having a 9th child or something. There is always that. Caroline says it's fear. Brent thinks it's fear. Most people live in debt. Yeah, we still get out of that. Having not enough money, well, you'd still have more money if you knew how to make more money from your money. It's fear, thinks it's Colin. Most just don't earn enough to save anything, as simple as that, says Luke Bo. Well, if that's true, then how do they ever get out of that if they don't set some money to work? Right? How do you ever get out of the rat race if you're just, well, I'm just going to keep running in this race, right? Stress of finances, says Christina. I know, but we can remove all the stress and you just put a smile on your face. Even on a mad day like yesterday and today, I'm still smiling because it's just all brilliant. It's all an opportunity. Ingo thinks believe in knowledge that they can achieve it. Okay, I can help with that. Comfort zone is hard to overcome. That's true. That's true. We're stuck in those old ways. And that's definitely a thing. I mean, people get stuck in it. We get tricked into the, oh, it's all right, right? Therefore, we just stay put. I can just tell you, like, today was beautiful. I slept till 10 a.m. I did a little bit of this and that on my laptop. I took Winston out for a nice hike. I sat in a beautiful outside terrace and I had a nice little juice and enjoyed the sunset. And it's just life's just lovely. And I used to be that guy who worked 16-hour days. We can change that for you. If you want to learn that, come and join me tomorrow. Let me know who's going to join me tomorrow. Just put a 1 in the chat, and I know you're going to join me tomorrow at felixprehn.org/webinar. That is at 10 a.m. New York time. But let's get into the dirty stuff. Elon and Trump. Well, I guess we should say Musk and Trump. This has gotten really ugly. And I must say, I'm embarrassed for both of them of how low they stooped within the space of 24 hours. Elon's low point yesterday was Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they haven't been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Mark this post for the future. The future will come out. Someone then writes, Trump should be impeached. And Elon writes, yes. It's gone pretty freaking petty, hasn't it? And then, well, Trump writes back, I don't know what order this came out. He says, the easiest way to save billions of dollars is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised Biden didn't do that. Elon retorts by saying, all right, we're going to decommission the Dragon spacecraft immediately, which is the only thing that gets American astronauts into space, by the way, right? So just like kindergarten freaking stuff, right? And then, okay, someone talked Elon off the ledge and he said, okay, we won't decommission Dragon. And then yesterday, we thought that Musk and Trump, or at least Trump's advisors, will speak today following the feud. Tesla stock was up on that news. Still is last time I checked, although that could change because we just got this headline out. White House sources denies reports that a call between Elon Musk and the president will take place today. So the childhood nonsense is going to continue. You've got the richest man in the world and the allegedly most important, powerful man in the world fighting like freaking teenagers who've just fallen out because they both, fell in love with the same girl or something. Absolutely appalling stuff, in my opinion. And I think less of both of them for it. I don't know what you make of it, but there we go. Eric says, seems like you're still working 16 hours a day trying to plug your program. Eric, my friend, when I say friend, I mean that very loosely. How much time do you think I spend a day recording videos? I recorded one video today, it took about 20 minutes. And that goes off. I've got a team of editors who will edit it. They will upload it. They'll do all the nitty-gritty of getting it up there and making a thumbnail for it and all of that. I didn't do any of that. I was on a walk. And this little pre-morning live, I absolutely love doing this. It's super fun. I love chatting with you guys. It's the one subject that is my hobby. So if you thought that this was a job, my friend, you could not be further from the truth. As for plugging my program, what I'm plugging is free education. The only thing we charge for is one-on-one mentoring. All the other information out there, the 6-hour free courses, all that stuff, it's all out there and it's all free. And you can take advantage of it, or you can just say, oh, that guy out there is plugging us, whatever, and make that the excuse while you're living a miserable life, right? So get out of the miserable life, get out of the box, and come and learn with us, and we'll change your life. Simple as that. And we've had some people who were miserable when they came to us. And sometimes it takes us a little while to make them not miserable. But that's okay, because I have sympathy for that, because I used to be miserable, just like you. So I'm saying this in the spirit of there is a path. There's a trodden path that decades and generations of investors have taken. And you, my friends, are in the woods trying to find your own path. So which one are you going to take? The easy one or the really, really hard one are just probably going to keep you exactly where you are, right? So there we go. Happy you like my hobby? There we go, guys. Right, so, I'm going to bite today if you bite me. So there we go. Come and join us tomorrow, felixprehn.org/webinar. That is free, by the way, 100% free. And I'll teach you a ton of stuff. I will also give you all my top gold stocks, and not just the stocks and the list, because that would help you out for about a minute and a half. What I'm going to do instead is I actually explain to you why we bought them and which ones are still good and why. And therefore you can walk away and you can make better decisions forever after, which is always what my intention is. So how do you know Eric is miserable? just by the way, what he wrote. When you're really happy, you don't write stuff like that, right? Like you just don't do it. There's a twit right now. He writes fake reviews and then he makes stories out of them. It's just real desperation for 100 views or something. And it's just, there are some people like that out there. I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it. So it's just, but if you actually come onto the live stream, then I'm going to bite your hand just very gently. And then I'm going to try and pick you up by the neck and put you onto the right path if you let me. But obviously I can't force you. So there we go. Now, Winston, any thoughts on that? Winston is a bit more chilled, generally speaking, than I am, isn't he? He's a little bit more chilled. But then, he's got me looking after him. So what have we got here? We've got non-farm payrolls out. We were expecting 130,000 private jobs to be created. How many did we get? We got 139,000 jobs created, which is more or less. That's a serious question. Yeah, it's more, right? It's more. Nick checked the 6-hour course yesterday. It was great. Trade Vision is awesome too. Glad you're getting some value there, my friend. That is entirely the thing. Soaking of plugs. Put a plug in it. And Desmond's quite right also. Like if you don't like the content, just go somewhere else. That's it. So yes, Scott, we're back on topic here. Yeah, you're right. We beat non-farm payrolls, and the unemployment rate's still flat at 4.2%. So everyone's going, economy is strong, yay, right? The consumer is strong. Well, zoom out a little bit. This is a chart here. Looks like a Bloomberg chart. And data from the labor statistics, BS Bureau. What do you see in terms of jobs created? Can you see a trend? Do you see a trend? Just sort of a broad trend, right? You see a trend, don't you? It's going down quite significantly. And if you also look at this is the 5th month of the year, right? So this is May, right? May. What about May 2024? 2, 4, 5, that was here, significantly higher. What about May 2022? Or 3 even, because you got to compare the same months really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was here. That was still significantly higher, right? And the years before, I mean, you get the idea, right? So actually, yes, more jobs created than expected, but still fairly miserable jobs market, considering where we've come from. Now, I know this data is government data and it's therefore massively manipulated and so on, but it's not as brilliant as it might appear. Are those full-time jobs? Just a little bit. I very much doubt it. No, I very much doubt it. The government does not really distinguish between full-time and part-time jobs. I haven't read the report yet because I'm in Hong Kong and I can't log into the BLS bureau without a VPN because they think, I'm in enemy territory or something like that. Can we get those indicators in events telling us if the results are bullish or bearish? You mean sort of a little bit of a smart in Trade Vision you're talking about here, right? Where you get that, where we tell you whether it's gone up or down. You want us to actually interpret it for you, right? It's a thought. It's a thought, my friend. It's not a bad thought either. So I shall feedback that. But there is something else out there which has me just a little bit concerned. And then I'll tell you why I'm actually a Super Bowl at present. We're down here. This is retail sentiment. So retail sentiment isn't particularly wonderful, right? It's negative. It's bearish. They're fretting a little bit. Can we draw trend lines in the mobile app? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There is a drawing tool in there. Is Felix turning bearish today? He is not. Although for the short term, there's a little bit of up and down, and there's a little bit of that, and we can look at that. If you look at VIX today, it's at 17. That is pretty wonderful stuff, right? Is it? How come we've got a pre-market line on VIX? Let me hit the refresh button on that one. Because VIX is a futures contract which trades earlier. But yeah, it says right now, VIX is at 17, which would be wonderful and which should give the market a really, really nice boost. This is a minute chart here. This is when the jobs data came out and the market rallied 2 points on that on the QQQ. So that's looking fairly optimistic. But ultimately, to me, what the whole big, beautiful bill thing says, and I know we can't avoid politics entirely. My intention isn't to give you my politics. My intention is to give you what I see as a sort of a bit of a realist. I don't really care who runs your government, or, I don't vote. I pay very little tax in the US. I pay a little, but not a lot. I think we're going to get, yes, lower taxes. I think we're going to get lowish tariffs. I don't think they'll be anywhere near as high as we thought. And I think that's it. And I don't believe any longer that Trump will manage to massively change and turn Washington upside down, because the administration, or the swamp, or whatever you might want to call it, is basically kicking back, and they won't allow it. And that's, I think, if you have a 1,000-page tax bill, it shows you that. It shows you that those guys are still in charge. They continue to be in charge. So why does that matter from our point of view? And this is a selfish interpretation of it as an investor. What does that do? It creates a massive rally. Or you also get huge deficit, right? Huge deficit, which in the short term, not much of a problem. We don't really care. In the short term, the stock market doesn't really care. So I believe we're going to get a huge rally in the second half of 2025. That's kind of, there's a prediction, big, bold, beautiful prediction, because we will just have lower taxes. We have a little bit lower regulations. That's it. The tariffs will not be anywhere near as bad as we thought they'd be. And the sort of tiger has had his teeth removed. That's kind of the way I see it. So are we going to get some rate cuts? I think we'll probably get some towards the end of the year. I think the Fed will drag its heels. They'll still be too late. But all the tax cuts will help the market. Obviously not, ordinary people with average paying jobs. The governments very rarely help them. So yeah, I think any sort of hopes of this is all going to be different from now on, at least in my head, are kind of gone. I don't see it happening. So big rally in the second half, says Colin. Get rich ASAP. And it's only the rich will get lower taxes. Correct. Jersey Mum, there, you're quite right. It isn't fair. It isn't fair in any way, shape, or form. The market isn't fair. Yes, there is manipulation. There is insider trading. There's all of it. But we can still make a lot of money. And that's what I always say to people, like, just don't get hung up on it, because you can spend your life fighting these imaginary demons, and you probably won't win, or you can simply look after yourself and your family. And once you've done that, and you've got lots of money, well, then you can actually make the impact you want to make. Because one person can do a lot, but you're taking on all of Washington, well, good luck, right? The richest man in the world doesn't manage it. What do you think is the likelihood that anybody else is going to succeed or even going to try, right? So yeah, life ain't fair, but it's absolutely beautiful. Smash the like button, says Colin here. 3,000 people live, 439 likes. That's a bit... Well, it's that sort of a day, apparently. So here we go. The Qs are up. The Nasdaq is up. Tesla pre-market is looking, well, better than it was last night. So we are pre-market here, 3.6% up. It was a bit 5% earlier on, but still better than a kick in the teeth. That sell-off there yesterday made very little sense. Yes, there are some slower sales numbers, but I think that was largely some sort of political thing there. Denise, it is your birthday. It's my birthday. Thank you very much for spending some of your day with us, and a very happy birthday to you. I hope it's a brilliant one, and I hope you spoil yourself in the best sense of that word. What do you think about Circle? Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? That thing listed yesterday. I just saw Celsius in the chat here. Let's have a quick look at that one as well. That wants to break out so desperately, doesn't, but it just needs to close above 40, and I think it'd be an interesting one. Obviously, you got to make your own decision there, but let's run through a couple of the big tech stocks here first. Nvidia is at the cusp of it, I would argue. What else have we got? HIMS gets brought up a lot, which is pulling back a bit, but it's still sitting above its sort of general support zone there. So I wouldn't panic or run for the exits quite yet. What else have we got? Palantir, which also had a miserable day yesterday. Not entirely sure why. And that is gapping, well, not gapping up, but that is also recovering about half of yesterday's losses, about 3.3% up pre-market. Hood could join the index today. Yes, today is a day where the index gets rejigged, revised, remassaged, and they're a little bit light on financial stocks. So there is a chance that Hood could get included, which would make the Hood rally continue very likely. Do I think it'll be added? Yeah, I don't really make those kind of predictions, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a random thing. I think it's possible, and if not now, and then at some point. But I don't really know. Spotify, that's still looking beautiful, isn't it? Look at that textbook stuff. If you don't know what textbook stuff is, come and join us tomorrow, and we'll teach you what textbook stuff is, because this looks like a corker. What else have we got here? IWM, how are the small caps faring with all the Trump Elon madness? That looks good. That looks good. You close above that sort of 210, and we're moving in the right direction. The 150 is still at 215. That's still a little bit of a drawback there, but yeah, that's starting to look much nicer. Drew says we've got about 600 likes. That's about a 5% approval ratio, isn't it? Is it? No, 20% even. See, math's not my strong point. Circle. Have we got Circle listed in here yet? We do. So this listed yesterday. They're a stable coin issuer. Exciting, isn't it? So it's sort of a, crypto thing. And it is up bigly. It listed at $68. It's up about 50% from that. I don't buy IPOs as a sort of a religious thing. Generally speaking, it's a bad idea. There are these outliers, obviously. So if you're in this, stop loss. Please set a stop loss. Keep some of those. Colin, you're in Mu, thanks to what you learned from us. You got in it at where? 65? We're at 65 you got in. Oh, down, no, that was one, 72. Where did you get in? Oh, down there, that one. Oh, yeah, that was one too. There were a lot of breakouts. That was one. This was one. Any more? Arguably, that was another one, right? Can you start to see those? Some of you can start to see those. Everybody else will come and join us tomorrow, and you'll start to see those too. You must have fairly lax risk management though, my friend, because you didn't get out up here or even there or even here, which is what I would have done if I were in this, which would have gotten you a realized somewhere between 74 to 100% gain. On that. We realize your gains, my friends. That's really what it's all about. Could you have a look at OpFi? That looked pretty good, doesn't it, this morning? Yeah, look at that. That looks, isn't she a beauty? And here is a little one again. Rules at work, and we're up 34%. That's pretty good, isn't it? And the beautiful thing is that we get these big breakouts very regularly. I closed 2 such big ones just last week, and that's how we make money. So what we do actually is, I was just looking at it this morning. So usually my portfolio for any given month, it usually looks something like this. Say, and I'm going to make the numbers smaller to make it easier to understand. So say, we're down $1,000 realized losses. And then I usually have something like bad month to $10,000 unrealized gains, because we let our winners gain and keeping up. But then over time, some of those winners the stops will kick in, so we start taking profits. So for last month, we actually realized more gains than we had losses. So you get sort of a couple of days in a row where you lose a little bit of money. So you're down a little bit, 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 right? And then you get, boom, that thing coming in, and then you make profits. And then you have a few sort of nothing, and then boom, you have the big one again. And that's basically how we make money. And it's beautiful, and it takes no time whatsoever, and it's insanely just marvelous. It just puts a smile on your face every single day when you wake up. So how do you avoid getting killed by taxes if you trade so fast? Well, I don't pay any because I live in a place where I don't pay any. But if you are living somewhere where there are high taxes, well, you could say the US. Say you could do this in a Roth IRA, right? Tax-free. There are some restrictions on being able to withdraw those funds till you retire, but it's tax-free, and it'll help force you to compound that money insanely. And that will be my recommendation to Americans. Do in a Roth IRA, and then none of this matters. But honestly, taxes should never hold you back. So even if you're going to pay, say you're going to pay 30% taxes, well, it's only an issue if you're making money. And if you're making a lot of money, well, guess what? You still get to keep the 70%, which is better than doing nothing, which is what you're thinking about right now, which keeps you at, what, 0, right? So if you're paying taxes, it means you're doing something right, perhaps apart from where you're living. Trade in a Roth, absolutely. That's the path to do it. Dubai. Felix is in Dubai. No. Felix is not in Dubai. It's a lovely place, but it's not really for me to live in. So no, I'm in Hong Kong at present. So no, but Dubai is it's a nice place. I just don't really want to. I like mountains and forests and that sort of thing. I kind of need a bit of nature. Like we've got waterfalls here and that kind of thing. That's kind of what I need. Do you trade in an LLC? There's a ton of stuff like that you can do depending on where you live. I don't need to. There is no capital gains tax here. So therefore, none of this is an issue. But if I were living somewhere where I'd have to use a company, then I'd use a company. Well, whatever makes it tax efficient, right? How do you find out what's a tax efficient strategy? Honestly, ask Grok. And then obviously check it with a financial, tax advisor. But yeah, ask the LLMs. They know. Colin says, your partner is trading mostly in a Roth IRA. She's doing very well. She says, thanks. I'm very happy you guys are both doing that. And support each other, check on each other, be each other's accountability, and you'll do a heck of a lot better. Winston's a nature dog. Yeah, you can't put this guy in the desert. Like he's just grown up in the tropics. He likes his mountains. He likes his porcupines and his monkeys and all that kind of stuff. And it will be a very sad life for him, I think, if you put him in that. So, you probably love Switzerland. Yes, except for the weather. I like skiing in Switzerland. I couldn't handle your spring and autumn, and I just couldn't. Sorry. I don't like wearing socks, you see. 250 likes are needed to get us to 1,000. Brilliant. MP materials. Yeah, so the whole kind of mineral space, and this is kind of a magnet rare earth sort of type play, and that is indeed doing very well. Very well. At least it's back up to the recent highs here. There is still a little bit of that going on there, but yeah, that's a nice move up pre-market. You can't touch that money until you're 59 or so. Yeah, well, it's a good incentive, isn't it? Just build up a lot of money there, a lot of it, and then you'll be just fine. You can obviously still do some outside of it, but yeah, for trading, it's a brilliant thing to do. Sock-free zone, yes, that's very important for me. How do you ski without socks? You see, there are exceptions where I will willingly wear socks, and then I take them off and put them in the incinerator. But no, in the day-to-day, I like wearing shorts and no socks, and generally want to be barefoot. So I need to climate for that. I can't add much to my Roth each year, says Deirdre. Deirdre, Google this. Go on to YouTube. and I think even I made a video on this, look for backdoor Roth IRA. It's not quite as bad as it sounds, IRA. That is the loophole, which is ginormous, and you can get more money into it than you currently think you can. Oh my God, we're going to try and ring the bell again. This is one of those moments. This is like what I get heart palpitations about. So we have a very large bell, but it's so noisy that all the sound thingy-majiggies cut it out. So we're going to try and do something about that. Hang on. I need to check whether it's actually playing. Where is it? Here it is. So the market is officially open. Oh, there we go. Even Winston woke up there. Can you see that? Can you hear that? I hope so. You'd pay to see me ski without socks. Right. So the bell, yes. Hopefully you heard some of that. Winston certainly did. Didn't you, Winston? It's like, what a racket. Can you be quiet, please? Convert some 401k accounts, certain ones to Roth. Yeah, exactly. There is a couple of cool ways you can do that. The back door has been closed. I don't believe it has. No. Diddy uses a back door. Yeah. As I was writing that out, I was thinking similar thoughts. Who would have thought a gay rapper? Right. What else we got here? So, I prefer a snowboard. You're an interesting man. I tried snowboarding once for about a day, and I just kept falling on my back door, and I didn't think it was very pleasurable. So I went back to skiing. The bell finally works. Okay, that was very satisfying. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So I think we kind of figured it out. So shall we have a look at what's going on out there? What's moving the market in a bigly sort of a way? One thing we could do is we could look at one of my watch lists here. These are sort of the major ones. Can you see that on the chart here? Microsoft, Nvidia, everything is up. Everything is up. Tesla's up 5% here, which is nice. SoFi up another 2.7%, trading at $14. Archers is up. And the volatility index is at 17. 17. Even Winston is picking up his ears when he hears that. Does you hear that, Winston? A volatility of only 17. Why is that so exciting? Because that says the market is ready to rock and roll. We're back to pre, what was it? Big Beautiful Tariffs Day or whatever it was. Make America big and beautiful and free again or something like that. So we're back to those levels, which is very, very, very good news. Sue says, I see it like you, Felix. Figure out how to make money with the cards that are dealt to you. Yeah, look, I'm a big believer in making the world a better place. And I mean, that's why we do this, because I think everybody deserves financial education. I think everybody deserves freedom. And I think the fastest way we get everybody into a better place and everybody be kinder and nicer and do meaningful, impactful things is if everybody has actual financial freedom, time freedom. And that's, I think, what everybody's lacking. And therefore, they haven't got the time to think about, the bigger picture. But I think politics is a sure path to misery. What are we looking at? We're looking at SoFi. SoFi seems to be alive, back from the dead, one could even say. And yeah, sort of. Well, we have a nice little this sort of thing going on here, right? Now the highs were a little bit higher, perhaps, but we're getting close. We're above the 150-day moving average line. That's that purple line there. We're very nicely above the 50. We are, look at that. Yeah, inching upwards compared to the financial sort of tech sector, fintech sector. So we're looking decent. We're above the support line. So even the bloody market makers can't spoil the party that badly anymore. So this is looking pretty good. Right. What else have we got on here in terms of, Lulu. Oh, yes. Lulu dropped some very tight pants. Disaster. So they cut their guidance for the year, slow down, particularly in China, as Trump calls it. Yeah, so bad story there. It's a bad fit, essentially. What is it? I mean, actually, there's some women on here, right? A few of you. What makes women want to wear leggings that are so tight that really you might as well wear nothing at all? I mean, it's not really a good look. I don't think it's a good look. Is there some explanation for that? It seems like a very odd thing that people are wearing that. But anyway, so Lululemon is not brilliant here at all. That's a bigly drop. So not a good one. Now, was it a buy before this? Absolutely not. And what rule did it contravene? Does anybody know what rule did it contravene? Put it in the chat, guys. What rule did we fail before those? It's that one there. I'm pointing to it. It's a purple line, and it is the 150-day moving average line. Scott, my friend, you of course got that right. Jen got that right. The Kules got that right. Lewis and Robert and Mika and Nikolas. A lot of you got that right. Bob as well. Raptor. Well done, guys. So yeah, it was not a buy at any stage. But what we are, of course, quite excited about is the big one. NVIDIA is looking pretty good. What about Apple? The miserable tech stock that is known as Apple. Slightly above the 50-day, but still a falling knife. Thanks, Felix, for SSR. Are we printing some mining money? Ooh, we are indeed, aren't we? So this is what we do. We find these little nuggets. We find them on a Sunday, and then we set up the order, and then we're up 14% in a week or so, which is nice. Do you consider yourself a momentum trader? I don't really consider myself a trader, to be honest with you, because I don't really. Well, I sit down on a Sunday. I spend a little bit of time to find my stocks. And then I put up the orders, which takes me about 30 minutes. And then I don't do anything else for the rest of the week. So does that make me a trader? I think it makes me into an investor who actually knows what he's doing and who's got risk management that's automated. And my risk management also takes my profits. So the traders that most people think of are sitting there and they're just furiously staring at screens, and they've somehow elongated their 9 to 5 into a 24-hour job where they're really kind of frantic and stressed and that kind of thing. So I suppose you could call me a trader, but I don't like. I'm the laziest trader in the world. I think that's probably a fair statement, and I like it that way because it means we have a lot of time, and time is really the ultimate luxury. So if you want to learn exactly how we do that, literally, I'll break down the entire freaking system for you. If you want to know it, where do you go? Come and join me tomorrow. felixprehn.org/webinar, and I'll walk you through the exact steps, ton of examples. The gold stocks, for example, that we're buying, which I think is going to be good. You think I'm a swing trader? Nah, I don't know. I mean, all these labels, it doesn't really matter what you call it. I think the question is, are you a profitable money manager or investor, or are you not? If you're profitable, keep doing what you're doing. And I mean consistently profitable. And if you're not, learn how to do it better. How do you learn it? Well, learn it from people who are doing it better. It's very, very simple. What else we got on here? Meta Planet is up 16%. That's nice. That's one of our crypto flutters. Yeah, that's a bit of a mad one, but it's making money. Mercado Libre. Oh no! What happened? What happened? Why? Why me? No idea. Obviously something happened. We got it in the news. Expands free shipping. That can't be it. No idea. Something happened. Somebody stubbed their toe and Mercado Libre dropped off. I mean, considering where this is coming from, it's not exactly a huge move. It is just part of the general fabric of, look at these moves here. They are much bigger than that one there. But yeah, obviously something funky going on there, 4% down. Can't wait to catch a fish. Exactly. Did someone call Felix a swinger? Something like that. What else we got here? Tesla. Tesla seems to be recovering somewhat. Not massively, but somewhat. Here, at just under $300 right now. What does Winston think about L3 Harris? Winston? I think he's asleep. I think so. But yeah, it's a nice little breakout, isn't it? So we had that textbook breakout here, right? That was the buy point, rallied up, and at the moment we are a little exhausted. So two things can happen: either it goes down, in which case our stop kicks in and we make money, or it goes up and we make more money and we got to move our stop up. They are really the only two outcomes. So either way, I'm pretty happy with the thing. Do you ever use month charts? No. Weekly charts occasionally. Weekly charts can be quite useful sometimes, but not usually. Would you get back into Tesla if you just got knocked out of it? I'd ask you, what are your rules for buying a stock? And that should answer that question. Right? If you haven't got any rules, come and learn Wall Street's with me tomorrow. felixprehn.org/webinar, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, New York. Is it much important to know the intrinsic value of a stock, Mohammed? Yeah, some people spend their life calculating that sort of nonsense. With most businesses, you haven't got a freaking idea what it's really worth, because you could say, oh, it's worth 10 times profit or 50 times profit, or what about next year? They'll grow a lot, or there are margin assumptions. It's just financial modeling is well, it's kind of nonsense, really, because there is no right, there's no wrong. There's a range of numbers you can look at, and that can give you some usefulness, but you're always making assumptions. So I'm much more interested in the price of the thing and how it's moving, rather than the underlying value, because we could argue for years whether Tesla is over or undervalued, right? Or look at this one here, Palantir, right? All the value investors have been telling you since it was at $20 that it was massively overvalued. It's trading at $125 right now, right? It's some sort of insane valuation multiple. Doesn't really matter though. As long as you're making money, it doesn't really matter. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Do you have a regular job? No, thankfully not. I used to be a banker for a little while. I started a bunch of businesses. I still have some. I have a wine business. I have a chemical business. I have a few other things. But I have staff for that, so they take care of it. And so, no, I haven't had a job for quite a while. And I will never have a job again. I'm unemployable, thankfully. So I mostly invest. I love doing this. This is sort of one of my retirement hobbies. And so I'm super happy to share with you guys about an hour of my day, and hopefully give you some insight and some wisdom, and help more and more people onto their retirement path and their freedom and their financial freedom, and therefore being able to really enjoy life. That's really ultimately what it's all about. What about our friends at Boeing? Okay, let me ask if Winston will give you an opinion on that one. Winston, Boeing? What do you think the meaning was on that poor move? I think that was significant somehow, wasn't it? We should measure that. Boeing, yeah, same story. Looks good, doesn't it? I think it looks very good. Nice little breakout. Looks good to me, honestly. Where we got into it right now is probably a little extended. I could volunteer my expertise in tasting your wine. I stopped drinking, actually, completely. That's what the wine business does to you. I used to drink a lot. I haven't had a drink in maybe 4 years, 5 years even. And it's wonderful. I feel so much better. So I can only recommend that very highly. I hope none of my customers are watching. Scott, thank you. Appreciate that. I was a technology consultant, says Scott, in my late 40s, and a new baby, then AI happened. I realized that I needed to learn a new skill, went hunting for financial education, found Felix, now retired. Scott, very happy for you. Very, very happy for you. And it's all on you, my friend, because you're putting in the work, you're learning, and you're being disciplined, which is really what this is all about. I hope Felix is not making unemployment go up. That's our intention, actually. Yes, make the labor force participation collapse. That's what we want over here. Graham is still threatening you with the French Foreign Legion if you don't smash that like button. I appreciate that, Graham. I think Graham would be a great, with a sort of great big, colonial bamboo cane to control the crowds. Winston has hit his financial freedom years ago. Yes, he has. He sort of came to us at 6 months old, and he was like, I'm going to have a brilliant life. Well, he could barely walk, the poor thing, but yeah, he deserves everything he's got. Daniel, planning to retire, brilliant, my friend, and that's really what it's all about. It gives you time, and honestly, anybody can retire 10 years faster. Like literally anybody. It's really, really not challenging as if you just know what to do. And there's a couple of things, a couple of rules, bit of risk management, bit of focus on how you invest and save your money. And you do that and it happens like this. How your handstands going, Raphael? Very well, my friend. So how are the kittens? The kittens are also very sweet, bouncing off the walls. Meta is above 700. Okay, somebody's actually bringing this back to investing into stocks. Meta, yeah, looking pretty good, right? Looking pretty good despite all the lawsuits and all that nonsense. Should you buy VIX calls? That's really, really up to you. I mean, it's a Trump presidency. I imagine there's going to be some madness. Calls are pretty cheap, actually. Yeah. Call spread might work. There's a bunch of things you could do. Obviously not telling you what to do. You need to understand your options yourself. But yeah, there is something there. You could also just buy the underlying, because then you haven't got the pain of an expiration date, right? You could just buy VIX, for example. I'm not telling you should, but you could. Graham, you're an ex-drill instructor in the British Army. No way. You actually are. That's actually how I was picturing you. I was literally thinking Monty Python, what you don't like marching up and down. It isn't good enough for you, that sort of thing. That was kind of how I was picturing you, Graham. So brilliant. Graham will officially be the enforcer on this in this little community from now on. You want to see the Meta Planet chart? Let me have a look. Meta Planet. Here we go. MTPLF is the OTC ticker. And that looks pretty good this morning, up 16%. And that is a nice gap up here after this gap up here. So yeah, it is making a run for it, if you wish. Got 1,000 likes. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Well done. Appreciate it. Winston appreciates it, don't you, Winston? Do you think he realizes? Winston, we got 1,000 likes. He's not that easily impressed, is he? If you tell him the stock went up 80%, he's quite interested by that, but that's pretty much it. Is silver still flying? Yeah, I think the whole metal sector is looking pretty good. This is a 5-minute chart, so give me a second. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that another gap up? That is another gap up here. So yeah, looking very, very good. Gold was also looking pretty decent still. Although I think there are some individual gold stocks which are potentially doing better. Another one that was doing very well for us is Dollar General, which is an exciting stock, isn't it? And that's printing some real money, which is exactly what we want. What's your top spot to visit in Malaysia? That's a good question. There are a lot of nice parts of Malaysia. There are nice beaches. Malacca is very nice. Penang's very interesting. KL is lovely. There's a lot of places. Really depends on what you want to do, I think. Texas Instruments. That was on our list a little while back, but it never did do what we wanted to do. So I think we never actually bought it. So this is not a winning pattern in my book. Groy. Yeah, look at that. You see, that's what you buy. And where did we buy it? We bought it down here at $1.60. And now it's at $2.04, which means we're up 25% in the space of 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, which is pretty good. Just got stopped out of DG with a profit. Brilliant, Jen. Enjoy it. Like socks are a lot risky. I hear they built a cyber city. I visited Putrajaya about 20 years ago. It's not that new. I think it's a sort of .com kind of era thing, right? Sort of 2000 mark. Yeah, I didn't really see much of it. There's a very large mosque there. I remember that, which was very pretty. I don't really remember much else of it. I haven't been there a long time. But you always drive past it when you come from the airport. Right, what else have we got here? We've got new kitty video, please, says Jen. I think there will be a new one included in the next video coming out. I thought you said not to buy cheap stocks. No, I mean, don't buy it because it looks cheap. So the problem is, let me give you an example, okay? People buy AMD because they think it's cheap, right? Now they think it's cheap here, they think it's cheap there, and they think it's cheap here, and it just keeps dropping. That's a bad reason to buy a stock. The actual stock price, whether it's $1 or $1,000, is completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. So we can very happily buy things that are very, very low stock prices. It really does not matter. How long do you let things go sideways before selling? I have a stop. And the stop takes profits. The stop takes small losses. And the outcome is, and seriously, come and join me tomorrow. I'll teach you the whole thing. felixprehn.org/webinar. I'll put it in the chat again here for you. That's when you get the full rule package in one. But the most important thing, if you actually want to make money, is to make sure you don't have those big losses. So we have 3 outcomes. Outcome number 1 is a big win, right? Trump's with me on this one. Number 2, we have a small win. I think he's against those, but they're still very important. And then number 3, we have a small loss. And we have lots of those, by the way. But that's completely fine because they're very small. And we have the big wins, which will pay 6 or 10 times perhaps more than the small losses. So what do we never, ever have? Never, ever, 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 ever. We never have a big loss. Yeah, we just don't do those. It's against our religion, basically. It's illegal. So because we never have those, we smile a lot. So come and join me tomorrow. Where's the daddy cat? Oh, he's with us. He's with us. He's called Albert. He's lovely. He was cuddling me today. He's very cuddly. He's very cuddly. What part of Hong Kong do you live in? Kowloon or Lantau? Neither, my friend. That leaves 1 or 2 other options. How do you deselect stocks? I list the stocks, percentage loss, and sell 50% of the bottom 3 stocks. This is Graham. I just let the stops do their thing. I don't really do anything. I let the stops do their thing and just let that take care of it, really. So I don't sell it because it's near the stop. I only let the automation do its thing. And it just means you don't do anything. I mean, almost nothing, literally, which is really what I want. Too cuddly, which made him a daddy. Yes. He was a bit of a troublemaker, that one. Got us 5 kittens. He was meant to be the kitten. So, my friends, I thank you for watching. I thank you for tuning in. Winston is down there somewhere. Winston. He does not want to lift his head, as you can see. Come and join us tomorrow. If you actually want to be part of the bad, probably 1% of this audience who will join us. And the interesting psychology there is that that's the people who will actually have a tremendously wonderful life because they are open to change. They're going to attend an appointment at maybe a time slightly inconvenient to them, and they'll learn something that at first will seem a little odd. But that's what makes them winners. And the 99% sadly will not. And I'll keep pushing so that you'll all eventually show up. But, you know, there's a lot of talk about inequality and wealth inequality. And yeah, it's not fair. Definitely isn't fair out there. But if we just level the skills, so everybody has the same skill level, then that will help tremendously. And just because your income is low or high or middle, or you're busy, or you have this job or that job, or you're this age or that age, or whatever is going on in your head, you can always make your money work better for you. And it'll give you a lot more options to do whatever it is that you want to do. Come and join me tomorrow at felixprehn.org/webinar. I thank you for watching. I thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you tomorrow.